capital of Australia, Surfers Paradise. Welcome to Chris Conroy's wonderful world of boats.
Hi, welcome aboard, and a very special welcome to our Commonwealth Games visitors. I hope you get a chance to enjoy some of the best boating country in the world during your stay in southeast Queensland. We had a look at a big one and a small one this week, a very large one and an extremely tiny one. We'll be looking at the little Wateroo a little later. Let's have a look at a little boat that you sit on rather than in. Bill Barclay came to Australia from England about 2 years ago, and in England ran a motorbike shop, and his liking for motorbikes has followed through into the design and manufacture of a jet-powered watercraft which combines all the thrills of boating and of motorcycling. Bill has put a lot of thought and a lot of care and time into the development of the Wateroo, and she's appropriately named as an Australian Gold Coast product. And you see quite a lot of little boats like this around. Everybody at some stage or another has designed and built a water scooter, as they call them. And I must confess that on initial observation I tended to categorise the Wateroo with the other water scooters that we tend to see around. But after having a look at how it performs and its capabilities, I must admit that I changed my mind quite considerably. This really is a viable little boat. She has the performance and the safety of a jet ski. It's a fully integrated jet unit. There's nothing sticking out under the hull, which means there are no propellers to chop toes off, and you can run the boat right up on the beach. But she combines the performance and the mechanical setup of a jet ski with the ability to ride around even on relatively rough water and stay completely dry, number one, and number two, and more importantly, she gives you the ability to take somebody else with you. Now, not only can you take another person with you, but also Bill is about to pick up a slightly different type of passenger. Lots of thrills standing up on the back of the Wateroo and hauling the handlebars back as you go over waves. She'll jump quite happily right out of the water. Her turning performance is quite astonishing. The jet, of course, has vectored thrust, which means that when you pull those handlebars around, the jet efflux squirts the water in the opposite direction, and she'll turn at full speed virtually in her own length. Another thing that struck me about this boat is the fact that while she appears to have a fairly high centre of gravity, the centre of gravity with the engine and jet unit mounted very low down in the hull is extremely low, and it doesn't at any time show any tendencies to tip over or be laterally unstable. The jet, by the way, is driven by a 450cc twin-cylinder water-cooled two-stroke, which is imported with the unit from England by Bill, and the little jet unit is very compact on the after end of the Wateroo. Now, you've seen two people riding them, you've seen a man and a dog riding them. Here is the sort of power that the 40 horsepower motor generates. Here's a water skier on trick skis, has just done a step-off start. In a moment, you will see Kingsley Parker, who is an instructor at the Carrara Ski Gardens, do a deep water start and just pop straight up on top of the water. Notice also that the Wateroo is carrying an observer facing aft quite comfortably, and with two people on the boat, one on skis, which exerts quite a lot of drag, the Wateroo was able to maintain something like 23 or 24 miles an hour and do it through turns, and no matter what the skier did to try and stop the little Wateroo, it was able to keep going with absolutely no problems. And it was at about this time that I decided that it was more than it originally appeared to be. It certainly is a viable little fun boat. It's something that you could quite happily use for shopping. If you happen to live on one of the canals in, say, the Surfers Paradise area, there's plenty of room up under the foredeck of the Wateroo there for shopping, etc. You could quite happily use it to commute backwards and forwards to say, Pacific Fair for shopping. You can put another passenger on and run up and down the river. You can water ski if you like. And another function of it we're about to see, and that is using it in the surf. Now, we took the Wateroo out onto the southern end of the Southport Bar. Bill Barclay put a buoyancy vest on and jumped off a few waves and generally had quite a lot of fun. He tells me that the Wateroo really is quite excellent in a surf riding situation where big waves are coming in. He's found that he's able to ride it in a similar way to a surfboard, and because of the fact that the hull is quite well sealed and the motor operates down inside the hull, you can survive a complete capsize and still come up with the motor still running. So quite an amazing little piece of gear, and one that you should look at very seriously. To give you some idea, A version for outboard power comes through at under $800, and the completely set up jet unit with the 40 horsepower jet in it, completely finished, is well under $3,000. Now they're quite spectacular prices when you compare them to other similar little pieces of gear on the market. So you'll see the address in just a moment for that, and we'll be back after these breaks. Bill also has a version of the Wateroo for outboard power, and he has a 5 horsepower jet version for hire. So if you're in the hire business, you could do very well to have a close look at Bill Barclay's little Wateroo.